Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Stephanie McQueen. As you guys can tell by the title, you will know what I'm talking about today. I just wanted to have a sit down video and just be real with you guys and just talk about my struggles living with a chronic illness and autoimmune disease. And I know that I have a lot of followers on here that have a different autoimmune disease or the same one that I have, and they are struggling, in a lot of pain, stressed, overwhelmed, everything about the disease. So I just kind of wanted to talk about my own personal struggles and, to the extent that I've overcome them. So let's get into this actually, but first, if you like this video, be sure to give me a thumbs up, comment, subscribe if you're new. I would love to have you. And yeah, let's get into this. So probably about 8 or 9 years ago, I was diagnosed with an autoimmune disease, which is called mixed connective tissue disease. And I was in a lot of pain. I was swelling everywhere in my elbows, my fingers, just swelling. It got to the point to where I actually almost couldn't walk. I would just cry because I was in so much pain. I was very, very fatigued. And it was just something that was really hard to deal with. I was seeing a rheumatologist, and I just felt like it wasn't working for me. I continued to see him, and I continued to be put on medication after medication, and it just, nothing was working. And he had to keep upping the doses, and I just got, fed up with it, and to the point to where I was like, you know what, there has to be a cure, there has to be a better way to deal with this. And so, I quit seeing a rheumatologist. Well, actually, I got pregnant and then put my disease in remission. So I was like totally fine while I was pregnant with my daughter, but I was like severely ill while I was pregnant. So it kind of was like I got rid of that, but then I was really sick. But then, afterwards, symptoms started coming back. But then, I am very thankful, and I feel very blessed that I just met the people that I've met, and that they just have so much knowledge on nutrition and the body. And I was, basically able to find a diet that worked for me. I was able to, change my diet to eating anti-inflammatory foods and just cut out all the foods that were just causing inflammation in my body, just causing everything to swell and hurt and things like that. And I just never went back on medication. Then I started noticing that I was feeling a lot better because I cut so many things out of my diet, and I changed a lot of things, and it was just really nice. However, I would say, well, first, let me read to you what mixed connective tissue disease is, because I feel like a lot of people don't know what it is. And I even my specialist, I felt like he didn't have a clear understanding with it. And I'm not sure that doctors even have a clear understanding of what mixed connective tissue disease is. But basically, when I got diagnosed, I had like just anti-nuclear antibodies that were in my blood. And basically my immune system is just attacking itself. It's mistakenly attacking healthy cells as just negative invaders, and it's eating them. And so basically, when you have mixed connective tissue disease, these antibodies are eating your connective tissue through your joints and things like that. But it's just not just that. Like, mixed connective tissue disease is an overlap of many things. So let me read the definition that they have for it, because some of these I can't even pronounce. But it says mixed connective tissue disease describes a disorder characterized by features of systemic lupus, erythematosus, systemic sclerosis, polymytosis, and Raynaud phenomenon, which is joint pains, muscle weakness, and problems with organs. And so when you get diagnosed with McTD, you basically are showing features of overlapping of all of that. And I knew that when I was seeing my rheumatologist, I wasn't going one direction or other. They couldn't really pinpoint anything. It was just basically the overlap of all of that. I was just having symptoms of everything. And so yeah, I just want to talk about, you know, the struggles that I do have now. You know, I have my good, and then I have my bad days. I mean, there are days for me personally, and I know everyone is different, and you know, different people with autoimmune disease have different flare-ups. But when I am having a flare-up, basically my muscles get really weak and my joints start really hurting. It's mostly in my legs, predominantly in my legs. I do sometimes get in my hands, arms, elbows, but for the most part, it's in my legs. And then on top of that, I will get really, really fatigued, and almost not even like a normal fatigue, like a fatigue like I have to go into sleep like right now, and it kind of just forces me to just lay down and sleep. And I think it even sucks though, because it's not like I am, you know, at peace when I'm resting. Like I feel the pain, I feel my body flaring up, and when I wake up, you know, I don't feel refreshed, I don't feel energized. Normally I feel like complete crap, and you know, just kind of forced to continue to go about my day. But it was just like sometimes my body, when I am going through a flare-up, it will just send me right into that mode of like, I have to take a nap immediately. My body's trying to heal itself, it's trying to figure something out. And so that can be really, really tough for me, especially since I have a 3-year-old daughter and I homeschool her. And some days I just have to, you know, be like, baby, you know, mommy can't play, mommy has to lay here for a while, and mommy has to, you know, go to sleep, and you know, you can watch a movie for a little while or do an activity. And it's really uncontrollable. Honestly, it's not even something that I can stop. You know, when I'm having a flare-up, it's happening and I'm in it, and I just have to go through it until I feel better. And normally, you know, before, when I was working full-time, I worked retail, and it was really hard for me because I was on my feet, you know, like 8 hours a day, and sometimes I just wanted to hide, you know, in the fitting room so I could sit down, because most of my pain is in my legs. And yeah, like I said, it can be really, really painful. However, you know, I just wanted to provide, you know, some encouragement for those of you that do have autoimmune diseases, especially mixed connective tissue, because I have found a lot of relief, honestly, through the food that I've eaten. I do not take any medication at all anymore. And like I said, I corrected my diet like 100%. I cut out all junk, processed, fake foods. And you know, I replaced it with organic, healthy fruits and vegetables, but ones that are good for my body, and you know, grass-fed organic meats, a lot of high fats. I've now begun the journey of eating anti-inflammatory / keto, and I'm seeing a lot of good results. And so it's nice that my flare-ups are, you know, far, you know, spaced out. It used to be, you know, an everyday occurrence. I would wake up feeling like that. You know, I would just cry and cry because it was miserable. But now, you know, I have relief, especially if I'm really strict. And that's another thing that's so hard, you know, living with a chronic illness like this, is because so much a part of our culture is food. And I know personally for my family, you know, they love to get together and go out to eat and hang out. And, you know, I feel like everything, you know, our church family, everything is food, you know, and it's hard to tell people, hey, you know, I can't eat that, I can't eat that over and over. And sometimes I honestly feel bad. Sometimes I feel like people are looking at me like like I'm being bougie or something, which I'm not. You know, I'm really, you know, I don't mean any offense. You know, I do love food. I would love if I could just sit here and eat any food that I wanted, but you know, the foods that I eat have serious repercussions for them. So I try my best to stay on top of it. And, you know, if I'm not, then, you know, I spiral into a flare-up. I get depressed. I get more anxiety, and I just don't feel good overall. So, you know, for the sake of myself, my family, my daughter, you know, I try my best to, you know, stay on top of eating a healthy diet so I don't go down that route. But I made this video in hopes of encouraging other people that have MCTD or any other autoimmune disease, because I know that sometimes life can be hard and struggling with a chronic illness can be really rough to live with on your day-to-day basis, especially if it makes you feel really ill. But I just want to encourage others and, you know, let people know that I personally have found relief through eating a healthy diet and really changing things up. And I know that, you know, not everyone is the same, and, you know, things don't work exactly the same for everyone, but you know, for some people it might. And I think it just takes a retraining of our brain and retraining of the foods that we were used to eating growing up, and, you know, really giving our body what it needs, all the nutrients, all the minerals and everything to help it feel better and have a better healing process. And if you guys have an autoimmune disease, I'd love to know what kind of autoimmune disease that you do have, what your struggles are, you know, how it makes you feel, and build this type of community and just let others know that, you know, you're not alone. There's a lot of people out there, and I feel like when I first got diagnosed with my disease, it was really rare. But now, unfortunately, a lot of people, like so many people that I know, are struggling with a different autoimmune disease. And, you know, even my husband was diagnosed with a rare skin condition that the doctors told him was uncurable, and it made him really itchy, and it's changing the tone of his skin, and it was just really hard for him, and he thought it was eczema growing up his whole life, but they ended up saying it was a rare disease that can never be cured. And so I put my husband on my diet, and it's gone away, and he is doing so much better, you know, with his skin. And so it was like, even though they said that it wasn't curable, you know, through eating the right foods, he was able to get rid of his skin disease. And so I just really want to emphasize that I believe that there is so much healing and power in the food that we eat, and it can really change, you know, so many people's lives. But I will see you guys next time. Bye.